Last August, State Trooper Dennis Ricks was hit and killed while conducting a traffic stop on the interstate in Orangeburg County. Tonight, his widow is sitting down with News 19's Jamie Wade to reflect on the man she describes as her superhero.
I miss his humor. He was so funny. He could make anyone laugh. And he was just always cheerful.
That's how Jade Ricks remembers her husband, Dennis. But before she had to learn how to live without him, there was the last text message.
I actually had sent him a TikTok, and it was one that was like, it was like a sappy TikTok, like a I love you so much type of TikTok. And I said, I love you more than anything. You mean the absolute world to me.
Later that night, on August 10th, Jade received a call from one of Dennis's friends.
I answered the phone, and she said, Jade, has anyone called you? And I said, no. And then I just started screaming, help me, help me, help me. And I was just like, screaming at the top of my lungs.
Dennis tragically passed away from his injuries on August 13th, 2025. And since then, Jade has had to figure out how to live life without Dennis. She says it's often the things that seem too small to matter that hurt the most, like going to the grocery store alone.
And I never had to touch a cart or unload groceries, or I never had to do any of that. We'd go in the store, he'd push the cart, he'd pick up the groceries, he'd put them in the car. But I remember getting in the car after I did it, and I just cried for like an hour. Because it's just like, you're supposed to be here for all of these little things, for everything. It's not just like the big moments that I miss him, it's everything.
But when those moments become too painful, she relies on
my mom. After he passed, she's really tried her hardest to be there for me and step up, and she would literally do absolutely anything in the whole world for me. And I will never be able to thank her enough.
But even with that support system, Jade says there have been days she didn't want to get out of bed.
I had a lot of days where I would wake up and hate that I was waking up. And a lot of days where I would lay in my bed and cry and say, I just want to be wherever Dennis is at.
Those are the days Jade says she knows how much Dennis meant to her. Because while he was her husband, she says he walked into her life when her family needed him the most.
That there was a little bit of a time where we had like a rocky time a little bit before Dennis. And he actually was the one who kind of like helped get us all back together. And he really changed my family's life.
And that's what makes the legal case so difficult for Jade. Anthony Adelit is charged with reckless homicide in connection with Dennis's death. He is currently out on bond.
You're still alive. You can go home and chill on your couch and watch TV and do what you want. And my husband sits on my dresser at home. If I have to talk, if I want to talk to him, I talk to him in a box.
But through it all, Jade says she's learned something. She could let the grief take over, or she could try to live the way Dennis wanted her to.
A way for me to honor who he was, you know? I have to keep his memory alive, and I can't do that if I'm not here or if I'm not taking care of myself.
Jade says moving forward is not about moving on. For her, it's about carrying Dennis with her.
I will always make sure that everyone knows who he is and his story and how wonderful he is.
And a year later, there's still one thing she wants Dennis to know.
Just that we all miss him. And I'd probably give him like the biggest hug ever and miss him.
Well, in Rick's memory, troopers have extra patrols on the roads in Orangeburg and Dorchester counties through tomorrow. The goal is to prevent accidents and help reduce highway deaths across South Carolina.